Ninja and Flannel. Today we've got my all-time favorite AK build. Now I've actually been building this since before I even started my channel. So if you've been following along for a while, you've probably seen this evolve from way different configurations over the years, and today we're going to talk about everything that I believe has made this perfect, certain methods and parts, why I chose them, and things that I might regret. Side note, make sure you get through the whole video, even if you got to skip around a little bit, because there are certain parts that if you skip can result in catastrophic failure. So try to get through the whole video, try to get all of the major points, and here we go. Now here we are with the Alpha AK build, according to me. Now, what we have here is a Zastava NPAP M92. This is the base AK I used for the build. I would have preferred, looking back, to use a Z-PAP. There's some upgrades like chrome lined barrel, reinforced front trunnion, stuff like that. There's a couple of benefits to getting a Z-PAP over an NPAP. If this ever gets destroyed over the years, which someday it will, I might just take all these upgrades and transfer them to a Z-PAP. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the base AK we will be using for this build. You can see a link in the description for a similar AK of that sort if you're interested. It won't be the same brand and model, but something similar if you want to build a identical length and things like that. So check that out in the description. On that note, make sure you subscribe to the channel. A lot more content like this coming soon. K&S Adjustable Piston. Now this doesn't seem like it would be the most important piece, but I would say the first thing I would put in any AK that I'm going to build out would honestly be one of these K&S pistons. Now this by itself, these are I think like 150 bucks, something like that. A little complicated choosing one for your AK, but there's kind of conversion charts you might want to just call them. Also, K&S is a really cool company. This has a lot of positions. Really, you just spin this little cuff here and you can reduce as much gas as possible till it's basically jamming with certain rounds, and then you can go all the way full gas, which basically makes it behave like a normal AK with no piston at all. Now I have thousands and thousands of rounds to this. It's never even considered locking up on me. So as far as it being durable, I have no problem with it. I don't think it compromises the AK reliability at all. So K&S Adjustable Piston is sweet because pretty much all AKs are severely overgassed from factory. It does contribute to it being very reliable, having a lot of gas. But once you add a suppressor on the end with that additional back pressure, it becomes terrible. It basically has similar recoil to like a semi-auto 308 and a lot of extra wear and tear on your firearm. So if you're gonna suppress an AK especially, and particularly if you're not using a flow-through can, the K&S Adjustable Piston is a must-have. Additionally, make sure you get on the Ninja and Flannel email list. There's a link in the description for my website. It's really just a list of when I find good stuff like this K&S piston, ammo deals, stuff like that. I very seldomly do it, but I'll send out a list of good stuff that I found that I am personally buying. So link in the description, check it out. A suppressor. Now, I would say an excellent upgrade for your AK is always going to be a suppressor, because I just like that kind of thing. On a different note, you need to keep in mind that the AK is a somewhat difficult firearm to suppress. There are some serious problems you can get with catastrophic failures, destroying your cans, baffle strike, stuff like that. It's too much to explain in this video, but I will have a link right around here that goes back to one of my somewhat older videos, unless I update it, that explains, like in a step-by-step process, everything you have to check to suppress an AK successfully. Make sure you check that out. It's imperative. On this note, this is the anechoic Anachox AK-30L suppressor. This is their beefy 30 cal one. It's about 10 inches long. This thing's super cool. Full disclosure, it was sponsored to the channel, so make sure you remember that. But on that note, I still do love this thing. It is a titanium can, extremely lightweight and durable, and it is flow through.
The flow through. It's 2 flow through to cycle with this. That's actually good to know. Yep. The downside of flow through cans is right there.
Which is nice, and they also sell caliber specific non-flow through caps. When you're getting into night vision shooting like I've been getting into, you can still reduce that flash signature that comes with flow through cans. So pretty cool here. I will have a link in the description where you can view this can more closely. Check out that link. These are pretty sweet and I love them so far. I also have one in 22. Pretty cool cans. The mounting system I'm using here, which you saw me put on, is actually called Break Lock. 3 turns and it kind of acts like a tri-lug. This is cool. It is half the weight of the Dead Air Chemo system that I've normally always used. The biggest part though, aside from weight, is that there has never been a recorded case of carbon lock by anyone anywhere with this Break Lock mounting system. So I'm trying to see if I can be the first one, but so far I have not done it. Once again, link in the description, you can find these. I love this so far. It's so lightweight. You don't even notice it when you put it on your can. Pretty cool. Muzzle devices are also much cheaper than other brands. So cool stuff there. Railed dust cover. Now this is the TWS, which is Texas Weapon Systems railed dust cover. It has like a little like edge / spring built into it. This I'm a huge fan of. This is not sponsored. Bought this with my own money, and this super well made, very durable. It always returns to 0. I haven't had any issues, and it's just my go-to for AKs, honestly. There are others on the market, but this is honestly my favorite so far. Additionally, I also added their rear peep sight, and then I use the Vortex Spark Solar red dot. Not the best red dot. Yours always a better red dot in somebody else's eyes. But I put it on this riser so I can still see underneath the riser to get my iron sights, assuming the flashlight wasn't in the way. But it's pretty cool that they make the peep sight to go with it, because you normally would lose your sights when you put this on, or your iron sights when you put this on. So yeah, TWS railed dog, it's called the dog leg dust cover, is sweet, and I would put this on any AK I ever built. Your stock or brace. Now, depending on which way you go, you could SBR, build a full rifle, whatever. I went with a pistol, so I went with a pistol brace. A lot of these shorter AKs, they won't come tapped or anything. It's just a flat plate in the back. So sometimes you may have to drill and tap them, or if they're too thin to tap, you have a nut that goes on the inside. If you are gonna do that, I have a little tutorial from when I did this. Once again, I'll have a little link to where you can find that video up here. But I went with the CNC Warrior brace. I absolutely love this. Only thing I did was I did paracord and I wrapped the whole thing in it, and then kind of used some plastic and kind of like plastic TIG welded it together so it can't come off, and it makes this really nice against your cheek with the paracord on there. But yeah, the CNC Warrior brace is awesome, and if you have a rifle AK you're working on, changing out to a nicer stock like a Zukov or something like that is a pretty big improvement that I would definitely do. Side note, that's not really the same category, is that a sling is very important on your rifle. I like to use the QD systems. This brace comes with a QD already on it, which I like a lot. And I just use a Magpul M3, whatever it is, sling, nothing too fancy. But yeah, a sling, awesome little upgrade that pretty much every rifle should have. The trigger. Now, I'm gonna be a little bit of a hypocrite because this is a stock AK trigger, still my AK. But when I upgrade, I'm definitely gonna go with a Mars trigger because they are fantastic with the assisted reset. As you can see, they're pretty awesome. Now, if I'm not gonna go with a high speed trigger like that, I would go with, as you would expect, the ALG, because that's the go-to for AK triggers. On another little side note, YouTube's getting a little hostile towards this type of content. So I actually have a sister channel started over on Rumble with additional content that's not on YouTube, live streams, and things that won't be banned someday. So check out my Rumble channel. There will be a link in the description for that. Your handguard. Now I have the JMac handguard on here, and I'm a huge fan. I've tried most of the AK handguards on the market, and this has by far been my favorite. It's also decently expensive. It's got your M-locks, it's pretty slim. It doesn't seem to get too hot compared to others, not sure why. It's got QDs built into it, and then I also use their railed gas tube in the top. Important note on that is that it is secure enough to use for an aiming laser, like an infrared laser for night vision, and it holds 0 and doesn't cause any problems there. Another little bonus here, I'm testing out this flashlight. As you can see, it's got dual lenses that go around your front sight. This is made by BRINYTE, that's Brint, and this is the XP22 Scorpion. No switches required, it's right in the top there. Pretty sweet, and it's got just a big lug on the side, so you can take it on and off in the field if need be. These are pretty cool. I've tested this for a good amount so far, and it's treated me pretty well so far. Only downside I have is it uses a proprietary charger, which I'm not really a fan of. I would have been just happier with regular batteries that you can change in the field, but pretty cool. I'll have a link listed where you can check these guys out as well. Your safety selector. Now, I didn't have to change mine. This actually came on mine, but what you really want to look for is one that has this rear nub. Sometimes it's just the front one, and it's a little less convenient to do. And if you want to turn your safety on every time you run, like required at competitions, things like that for safety, it's a pain. So you want to get one that has this rear nub here, and a bunch of different brands make them, but that's really all you need. Something that you can come up and switch it without having to go too far forward or bring your thumb out is really all you need. But definitely upgrade a safety that has that. Short stroke recoil buffer, rear button sealing gaskets, and True Blue lubricants. These are the least interesting upgrades of everything we've talked about, but they will have a big effect on longevity of your AK and the overall performance, especially over time. So the short stroke buffer just goes on your spring back here, makes your travel a little shorter. It makes your bolt overall cycling a shorter span. So especially if you get like the Mars trigger, you're gonna need that high cycle rate. And then it also reduces wear and tear because you're not having metal on metal when your bolt comes back. The rear gasket, you won't know how important it is until you shoot an AK in the pouring rain, especially suppressed. It will shoot you in the eyeball, right around your glasses, or destroy your glasses with it, and just cover them with soggy carbon, like getting hit with a super soaker in the eye. Very important. Then the other one is also a very boring topic, very essential, is the True Blue lubricants. Now for your suppressor, I have this cleaner concentrate that you drop in a sonic cleaner, so the suppressors that don't come apart like my older ones, you can drop this in there, soak them there's a process, but you soak them for a while and sonic clean them. Suppressor syrup, you coat your gun and or suppressor, mainly suppressor, with this when it's new or cleaned, and this keeps carbon from bonding to it, so it never gets that real crunchy, crusted on carbon buildup. It'll actually wipe right off with a dry towel. This stuff is absolutely awesome. And then they got regular gun oil and gun grease. These are some additional upgrades that are not essential, but you do need them. So that's my 8 upgrades that I would do to make the perfect Alpha AK. If I missed anything, you let me know in the comment section what you would add. If one of the things I listed you've had problems with, I definitely want to know in the comment section. And let me know how you feel about this video overall. Make sure you hit that like button so this video can go further in the algorithm. And farewell.